Tiffany Trump tied the knot with Michael Boulos on a Saturday in Palm Beach, Florida. Have you ever tried to picture what it must feel like for the daughter of a wealthy man to marry a billionaire? Most of us probably haven't, since it doesn't happen every day, but Tiffany Trump has lived that reality. She is the daughter of Donald Trump, the former president of the United States. Tiffany did indeed wed her billionaire partner from an Arab background, yet the ceremony came close to being called off. What precisely took place? You will learn every detail worth knowing as this video unfolds, so if you are prepared, let us dive right in. How the couple first crossed paths. Tiffany Trump and Michael Boulos met for the first time in 2018 during a holiday in Mykonos, Greece. Tiffany was spending time away with actress Lindsay Lohan, who was set to manage the beach club where the introduction happened. Their encounter was entirely a matter of chance, yet it sparked an instant bond between them. Many assumed Lohan had arranged the whole thing, but she rejected that idea in a conversation with People magazine. She explained that she had simply invited both of them as the hostess, and whatever chemistry developed between Tiffany and Michael was not something she engineered. After that first meeting, their romance grew rapidly, even though they lived far apart geographically. They succeeded in keeping a long-distance connection alive and were often seen together at major gatherings, including official events while Donald Trump was in office. That was when Michael was formally presented to the Trump family. As things turned more serious, Tiffany started bringing Michael into family circles. He joined several Trump gatherings, such as Thanksgiving meals at Mar-a-Lago and Christmas celebrations at the White House. Michael's steady and relaxed demeanor seemed to fit comfortably within the frequently intense and demanding atmosphere of the Trump family's public existence. His knack for remaining unruffled under media scrutiny allowed their relationship to progress steadily from one phase to the next. Before we continue, perhaps we should examine their individual backgrounds prior to the relationship and marriage that eventually united them. Tiffany Trump's childhood and early years. Tiffany Ariana Trump entered the world on October 13, 1993, in West Palm Beach, Florida. Although her father, former U.S. President Donald Trump, has several other children, Tiffany is the only child from his marriage to Marla Maples, his second wife. Compared to her half-siblings Ivanka, Eric, and Donald Jr., who enjoy much greater public recognition, Tiffany grew up in relative privacy. Part of the reason was the divorce of her parents when she was still very young. In 1999, when Tiffany was only 6, Donald Trump and Marla Maples completed their divorce proceedings. The separation itself had occurred roughly 2 years earlier, so the finalization was not surprising news. Following the breakup, Tiffany relocated to California with her mother and spent most of her formative years there. Living on the West Coast kept her away from the relentless media attention that followed the rest of the Trump family in New York. Because she did not reside with her father, one might assume their bond would have been fragile, but in fact the opposite proved true. Tiffany managed to nurture a solid connection with him all the same. Naturally, the closeness she shared with her father could not match the daily familiarity her half-siblings experienced from living with him for longer stretches. As the child of a prominent businessman who later became a powerful political figure, Tiffany attended some of the finest schools available. Her schooling started at Viewpoint School, an exclusive private academy in Calabasas, California, where she received a high-quality yet structured education. Growing up in California exposed her to a perspective quite different from the corporate-focused world her father inhabited in New York. She was immersed in the allure of Hollywood and celebrity circles, and those surroundings shaped many of her initial passions. In 2012, Tiffany began studies at the Distinguished University of Pennsylvania, the same institution her father and her half-sister Ivanka had attended, perhaps continuing a family tradition. She earned a bachelor's degree in sociology with additional focus on law and urban studies. After 4 years, she graduated in 2016. Although her coursework revealed a clear interest in social issues, her professional direction was not immediately obvious after leaving college. While at Penn, Tiffany briefly explored fashion and media. She completed an internship at Vogue magazine, gaining insight into the elite fashion industry. Around the same period, she tried her hand at pop music, releasing a single called Like a Bird in 2011. The track did not achieve significant commercial success, and Tiffany ultimately chose not to pursue a full-time music career. In a conversation with Oprah Winfrey near that time, she acknowledged she had simply been testing whether that path suited her. Music, it turned out, remained a personal enjoyment rather than a professional calling. After finishing her undergraduate degree, Tiffany shifted toward legal studies. In 2017, she entered Georgetown University Law Center in Washington, D.C. This represented a sharp yet meaningful change, moving away from entertainment and fashion toward law and politics. Remarkably, her years in law school coincided with her father's presidential campaign. That timing gave her opportunities to become more visible politically, appearing at events and occasionally speaking in support of him. Her role on the campaign trail was far less central than Ivanka's, yet she still offered meaningful backing. In 2020, Tiffany received her Juris Doctor degree from Georgetown. Although her legal training opened various doors, she has not followed a conventional legal career. Instead, she keeps a public profile, frequently attending notable events and family functions while pursuing interests across business, fashion, and law. Life as the daughter of an American president. When Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 45th president in 2016, his entire family faced even greater public attention. Among his 5 children, however, Tiffany kept a noticeably lower profile throughout his term. While Ivanka, Eric, and Donald Jr. took prominent positions both inside the Trump organization and in political circles, Tiffany stayed mostly out of the limelight. Ivanka served as a senior advisor to her father, and Eric and Donald Jr. managed day-to-day operations of the family business. Tiffany's participation in political activities was considerably more limited. Still, she appeared publicly at important junctures. During the 2016 election, she spoke at the Republican National Convention, offering warm words about her father. The address was positively received and highlighted her somewhat peripheral place within the campaign's core operations. Observers could sense that dynamic clearly. Despite her limited visibility, Tiffany still felt the intense pressures of belonging to such a famous family. Media coverage often pointed out her quieter role compared to her siblings, prompting questions about her relationship with her father and her standing within the family. She had to navigate the delicate task of demonstrating loyalty while preserving her own sense of self under constant public examination. As the presidency continued, Tiffany made occasional appearances at significant White House functions and family occasions. She attended ceremonial events such as the yearly Thanksgiving meal at Mar-a-Lago and holiday celebrations at the White House, as well as state dinners and overseas diplomatic trips with the family. Who exactly is Michael Boulos? We know Tiffany married a billionaire of Arab descent, but what do we know about the man himself? Michael Boulos was born into a prosperous and influential family with deep connections to both Nigeria and Lebanon. He arrived on August 27, 1997, the son of Masud Boulos, a prominent Lebanese-Nigerian business magnate who leads the multi-billion-dollar group known as Boulos Enterprises. In Nigeria, the company is recognized especially for its dominant position in selling motorcycles, power bikes, and tricycles, alongside substantial stakes in other sectors. The family's wealth enabled Michael to grow up surrounded by privilege, mainly in Lagos, Nigeria, where their influence is strongest. Although born into affluence, his childhood was not confined to Nigeria alone. His early years blended Nigerian and European influences. Like Tiffany, he studied at some of the world's most exclusive schools. He began in top institutions in Nigeria and later continued higher education in Europe. This international upbringing helped him cultivate a broad worldview, allowing him to harmonize his Lebanese roots with life in Nigeria and later in Europe. Exposure to varied cultural settings later proved useful in his relationship with Tiffany. Given their fortune, many might expect the Boulos family to lead flashy, ostentatious lives. In reality, they keep an unusually discreet public presence for people of such means. Unlike numerous well-known billionaires, they choose privacy over publicity. That low-key approach largely explains why Michael remained virtually unknown until his romance with Tiffany thrust him into public view. What does the 27-year-old actually do? Similar to his father, Michael is deeply engaged in the family enterprise. Boulos Enterprises, originally established by his grandfather, holds a major position in Nigeria's transportation industry, especially motorcycle and power bike distribution. Over time, the company has broadened its reach, becoming a significant force in trade and commerce throughout West Africa. Michael Boulos serves as the primary leader, and Michael has been learning the intricacies of the business from him since childhood. Michael's responsibilities have expanded as he has grown older. He contributes to strategic planning, with emphasis on growing investments and activities across the continent. Although his precise title is not widely advertised, it is clear he is being prepared to assume greater leadership within the family empire eventually. Beyond Boulos Enterprises, Michael has branched into additional business and investment ventures, particularly in Africa's emerging markets. The family's wide-ranging portfolio covers multiple industries, and Michael assists in overseeing investments and broadening their holdings. The proposal. We have witnessed proposals between ordinary couples without famous political ties. Now consider how spectacular the proposal would be when one partner is the daughter of a U.S. president and the other is an heir billionaire. Michael Boulos asked Tiffany Trump to marry him in January 2021, only days before Donald Trump completed his term as the 45th president. The romantic moment unfolded in the beautiful rose garden of the White House. It remained a private occasion, known only to a small circle of close relatives. At the center of attention was the breathtaking engagement ring, a 13-carat emerald-cut diamond mounted on a platinum band. The piece was crafted by Samir Halima, a celebrated New York jeweler renowned for designing opulent items for affluent clients, including celebrities and royalty. According to reports in Town and Country magazine, the ring carried an estimated value of $1.2 million. Everyone present wanted a closer look at its beauty. Beyond the ring, Michael had regularly presented Tiffany with extravagant gifts during their courtship. Sources such as the Daily Mail noted that he often gave her exclusive designer goods and unique luxury items, including bespoke jewelry and high-end handbags. Some viewed these gestures as unnecessary given Tiffany's own wealth, but they were simply Michael's way of expressing affection in the manner most familiar to him. Both families reacted with delight to the upcoming marriage. Despite cultural differences, Michael being Arab and Tiffany American, each side embraced the union warmly. The Trumps welcomed Michael wholeheartedly, valuing the steadiness and care he offered Tiffany. The Boulos family felt equal enthusiasm, seeing Tiffany as someone who aligned well with Michael's principles and heritage. People magazine quoted insiders who described both families as extremely supportive and eager for the couple's future. On January 19, 2021, Tiffany and Michael shared news of their engagement publicly through social media. Tiffany posted a tender photo of the two of them on Instagram with a caption that said it had been an honor to mark numerous milestones, historic events, and memories with her family at the White House, none more meaningful than her engagement to her wonderful fiancé Michael. She added that she felt blessed and thrilled for the next chapter. Michael also posted on his own Instagram, sharing an affectionate image of them and writing that he had become engaged to the love of his life and looked forward to their next chapter together. The lavish wedding celebration. Tiffany Trump and Michael Boulos exchanged vows on November 12, 2022, in an extravagant ceremony at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's luxurious resort and private club in Palm Beach, Florida. Anyone familiar with Mar-a-Lago understands it offered an ideal setting, with its Mediterranean-inspired buildings, abundant gardens, and views across the ocean. Vanity Fair reported that the couple selected the venue for its deep personal significance. Mar-a-Lago had played a central role in Tiffany's upbringing and many Trump family occasions. Every aspect of the preparations radiated opulence, from carefully crafted flower displays to gourmet catering. Months of meticulous planning went into creating an occasion that matched their social standing. People magazine noted that Tiffany took an active part in organizing, collaborating with leading wedding experts and designers to guarantee perfection. The ceremony itself took place outdoors in the estate's garden area. Guests sat beneath a covering of white roses and orchids. The couple spoke their vows under an elaborate floral arch, surrounded by nearest relatives and friends. Afterward, everyone moved to the elegant ballroom for the reception, enjoying a sumptuous meal, live performances, and dancing. The guest list combined family members, celebrities, and political notables. Donald Trump and Melania Trump were naturally among the most prominent, joined by Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric. Harper's Bazaar observed that the full Trump family gathered to honor Tiffany and displayed an uncommon public sense of togetherness despite circulating stories of internal friction. Members of Michael's family travel from Nigeria and Europe. His parents, Masud and Sarah Boulos, mingled with attendees, representing their side of this cross-continental marriage. Although coverage remained limited to a handful of approved media outlets, various high-profile figures and entertainers were present. Tiffany shone in a bespoke wedding dress created by renowned designer Elie Saab. The gown featured delicate lacework, a lengthy train, and a coordinating veil that enhanced the overall splendor. Vogue reported that choosing Saab paid tribute to Michael's Lebanese background. As she walked the aisle escorted by her father, Tiffany embodied a storybook bride. The couple shared sincere vows, declaring their devotion before their closest loved ones. The reception continued the grandeur with sparkling chandeliers, towering floral centerpieces, and a menu blending American, Lebanese, and Nigerian dishes. Guests celebrated through dancing and moving speeches. The newlyweds' first dance stood out as a highlight, followed by warm toasts, including one from Donald Trump expressing happiness at watching his youngest daughter wed the person she loved. The near-cancellation drama. Given how joyful the day turned out, why did the wedding come close to being postponed? Several issues almost disrupted the long-awaited event. First, whispers circulated about strains inside the Trump family, tied especially to Donald Trump's ongoing political controversies and the potential impact on the wedding's atmosphere. Page 6 mentioned worries over the appearance of holding a lavish celebration amid intense public and media scrutiny. Second, a tropical storm struck Florida only days beforehand, raising serious concerns. With much of the setup relying on outdoor spaces at Mar-a-Lago, the weather threatened meticulous arrangements. TMZ reported that staff worked nonstop to evaluate damage and ready the venue under difficult conditions. Discussions arose about whether the original plan could proceed, creating tension for both families. Security worries added further unease. As the daughter of a former president and partner to a man from a wealthy international family, heightened precautions were required. The Daily Mail noted extra measures implemented to protect everyone, amplifying anxiety over a potentially ruined multi-million-dollar occasion. Nevertheless, Tiffany and Michael viewed these obstacles as temporary. Tiffany, who had poured herself into planning, stepped forward to guide adjustments. A source speaking to the New York Post described her as remarkably organized and resolute, unwilling to let weather spoil her joy. Contingency arrangements were quickly made, including options to shift parts indoors if needed. Mar-a-Lago personnel worked tirelessly to secure the site and adapt preparations. Protective steps shielded decorations and equipment from rain. Fortunately, skies cleared just in time. Sunshine appeared moments before the ceremony, allowing the outdoor vows as originally envisioned. Vogue captured the relief when the sun emerged, transforming the day into an ideal memory. Ultimately, the couple's resolve and cooperation from both families ensured success. The close call has become a charming anecdote in their shared history, something sweet to recount to future generations. Tiffany later told People that the lead-up felt like an emotional roller coaster, yet nothing could prevent them from celebrating their love. Her words resonated with many who admired how the pair overcame challenges to exchange their promises. Life after the wedding. Since marrying, Tiffany Trump and Michael Boulos have split their time between the United States and Europe. They have been seen in places such as New York City and London, where Michael's family maintains strong ties. The couple balances urban living with peaceful vacations, often posting photos and clips of their travels online. Both remain focused on professional pursuits. Tiffany has voiced interest in deepening her work in business and charitable causes. The New York Post quoted her expressing a desire to use her visibility for issues close to her heart, especially education and women's rights. Michael continues active involvement in family enterprises, managing projects across Africa and elsewhere. Regarding family plans, Tiffany has suggested children are part of their vision. In comments to US Weekly, she noted they frequently discuss the future and both want children someday. No announcements have come yet, but their outlook clearly includes building a home filled with affection and shared dreams. As a prominent couple, they continue to draw media notice. Major outlets like People and Vanity Fair regularly report on their appearances, events, and trips. Public response to their marriage has largely been favorable, with numerous supporters sharing encouragement online. Still, speculation persists about Tiffany's possible future in business or politics, given her lineage. Some analysts cited by Politico see her as someone who could influence younger audiences in public discourse. What are your thoughts on Tiffany and Michael's wedding? Does their commitment despite obstacles inspire you? Share your views in the comments below. If you found this video enjoyable, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.